Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news from Detroit's West Side, topping our show here at 4 o'clock. A home invasion turns deadly. You're taking a look at video that we shot from the scene. Priya Mann following the story since it did break. So what are you learning about this situation, Priya?
Well, Karen, it has been a very busy afternoon for Detroit police. They're investigating multiple scenes right now. Here's where the home invasion took place on Detroit's West Side, where a woman was targeted, her teen brother shot and killed. Meanwhile, the guys who broke in, they took off in a vehicle, crashed a few blocks away. That's where police are investigating a second scene, and that intruder was stabbed and found dead. Police say 3 men broke into a home on Santa Rosa and Margarita on Detroit's West Side around 1 Monday afternoon. There were 3 people inside the home at the time. One of them was shot by the intruder and later died. Another person suffered a graze wound. Police say the people inside that home did put up a fight, stabbing one of the intruders in the neck. That's when the men who broke in took off in a car. That car crashed about 3 blocks away at 7 Mile and San Juan. When police got to the second scene, they found one person dead in the vehicle. He's believed to be the intruder who was stabbed by someone in the home.
If you have any information about what happened here today, just give us a call.
Do you think the other people in that vehicle took off on foot? Do you think there was a second vehicle involved? Are you looking for a second vehicle?
We have no second vehicle involved in this incident at this time. We believe it was on foot.
And this hour, police are looking for one person. They do have another in custody. This home invasion ends with 2 people dead. We'll have more at 5 o'clock. Reporting from Detroit's West Side, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
All right, Priya, we'll be following that very closely. Also, we do have breaking news from Washington, a major shift in U.S. Middle East policy. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has announced the United States no longer considers Israeli settlements on the West Bank a violation of international law. The United States has in the past described the settlements as illegitimate, and Palestinians have demanded the land for a future state, a goal that has been backed by the international community. But Secretary Pompeo dismissed claims that opposing the settlements advances prospects for Mideast peace.
Calling the establishment of civilian settlements inconsistent with international law hasn't worked. It hasn't advanced the cause of peace. The hard truth is there will never be a judicial resolution to the conflict, and arguments about who is right and wrong as a matter of international law will not bring peace.
Now, earlier this year, the United States officially recognized the disputed Golan Heights as Israeli territory. We are following other breaking news at this hour, this time from Oklahoma, where 3 people are dead following a shooting in the parking lot of a Walmart. This happened in the city of Duncan, south of Oklahoma City. A man and woman were shot to death inside a car. The man who reportedly shot them is believed to have then killed himself. Police have not identified the victims or determined a motive. Police say they will not rush their investigation because of the impact on the community.
Puts everybody on edge, puts the schools on edge, hospitals, businesses, everyone's on edge. So I think it's something that we need to get as much information as we can. That's the reason we're being methodical with the investigation.
Duncan police hope witnesses will provide them with more information to determine what led to the shooting. Developing out of California, a manhunt underway for at least 2 shooters who opened fire at a house party last night. Police say at least 2 men jumped over the fence at a home in Fresno and then opened fire, shooting 10 of 16 men who were watching a football game. 4 of those men were killed. 6 others were taken to the hospital. Police say this was a targeted attack and may be gang-related. Back here at home, the Detroit twin brothers charged in that violent attack in a restaurant were sent to prison this morning. 61-year-old Dwight and Dwayne Samuels pleaded guilty to assault with intent to commit murder for returning to Nicky D's Coney Island in Detroit last June after being told the restaurant did not serve fried mushrooms. They attacked one man with a pipe and pulled a gun on another customer. The brothers tried to withdraw their pleas today, but that request was denied. Dwight Samuels will serve 13 to 30 years in prison. His brother Dwayne was sentenced 11 to 30. Northbound I-275 near Ford Road back open this afternoon after a crash involving 2 semis. Sky 4 was over the crash this morning. This was the scene where an SUV was actually stuck between 2 semi-trucks. We're told firefighters had to rescue the driver from the SUV. Good news is there were no serious injuries. Major announcement in the push for a regional transit system in Metro Detroit. Today, several leaders announced a transit initiative they expect will appear on the November 2020 ballot. Leaders from Oakland, Wayne, and Washtenaw counties announced the plan with a goal of finding ways to fund mass transit. Mass transit has been voted down several times in the past. County leaders are now trying to find ways to get voters on their side.
I think if I was a resident of Independence Township, I might not have voted for it either. I just don't think the value was there. So we have an opportunity, and we're still working out the details, to increase the value that they see in transit options. But then what we're going to do is, once we craft a plan, the voters are also ultimately going to have to approve it. So we're going to go up there and talk to them.
There is a lot to sort through, so Rod Maloney will take a deeper dive into the initiative coming up tonight at 5. Big-time controversy in Warren this afternoon. Local 4 News learning outgoing Warren City Council members actually gave themselves health insurance for life before leaving office. The benefits also extend to other elected officials who have at least 8 years of service to the city. We've also learned the vote happened back at a council meeting in September. Lifetime health care usually given to officials who have 25 years of service to the city. Well, there is a response. New council president says, quote, the Warren City Council will bring this to the table at its next regularly scheduled meeting and demand the administration take steps to unwind this action. We did not create this mess, but we will absolutely see it resolved. Tonight on Local 4 News at 6, we are going to have full reaction from Warren, and we are going to hear what Mayor Jim Fouts is saying about this. Today may be a day off from the House impeachment hearings in Washington, but there are a number of new developments surrounding the investigation, and President Trump himself making one of those headlines today. Devin Scillian live in the newsroom to bring us up to date.
Yeah, Karen, really doesn't seem to be any days off right now in this matter. This morning we were looking at the list of witnesses set to appear in the public impeachment hearings this week. This afternoon we're following new developments involving the president himself. The House of Representatives investigating if President Trump lied to former special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation of Russian meddling in the 2016 elections. The president reportedly denied knowing about WikiLeaks having emails that had been hacked from Democratic Party political offices. House lawyers are in federal court arguing that they need grand jury testimony from the Mueller probe to determine if the president lied in his written testimony to Mueller. Now, today the president took to Twitter to criticize House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, but at the same time he responded to her suggesting that he testify in writing to the impeachment hearings. While describing the hearings as a no due process hoax, the president said he likes the idea and will strongly consider it. House inquiry has 8 witnesses scheduled for later this week. Tomorrow's witnesses include Jennifer Williams, former advisor to Vice President Pence, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, European Affairs Director of the National Security Council, Kurt Volker, the former U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine, and former MNSC Senior Director Tim Morrison. So Wednesday's witnesses then, the one that many people are looking forward to hearing from, and that's the U.S. Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland. Also, Deputy Assistant Defense Secretary Laura Cooler and Undersecretary of State David Hale. Fiona Hill, former top Russia advisor to the NSC as well. Finally, we have word from Kentucky today where Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was asked about the impeachment inquiry, and he said he, quote, can't imagine a scenario, close quote, for the Senate to convict President Trump if he should be impeached by the House. Republicans, of course, control the Senate. 2/3 majority of vote needed to remove the president from office, even if he is impeached. And by the way, Karen, as we heard yesterday on Flashpoint, we expect that vote coming up, impeachment in the House, December 20th. Right now looks like the likely date. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Devin. Time now for our first look at the forecast. Ben, it feels really good out there. The snow's starting to melt. This is exciting.
Yeah, and for good reason, because we finally snapped that streak, Karen. Temperatures got to 50 degrees today, and that was the first time that we have been average in 2 weeks. But the numbers have come down just a little bit since then. 47 in Metro, Ann Arbor at 43. Still a lot of sunshine out there. But those clear skies tonight could become a problem because that's going to set up for fog to start forming, especially overnight past the 12 o'clock hour. And it looks like maybe a little bit more of an issue here on the east side. So we'll talk more about the timing of that. Coming up, temperatures falling into the 30s. We stay above freezing all the way through midnight tonight. And then we'll start watching for that fog to develop. More on the rest of the week and an early look at Turkey Day week in just a few minutes, Karen.
A local child decides to turn an upsetting experience into something positive. Paula Tutman has a look at the movement One Troy Child inspired.
You know, I don't think it's unusual that any child asks questions. Why? Why does it rain? Why don't the stars fall from the sky? But one of the most important questions being asked at Hill Elementary School in Troy, Michigan right now is, why not? There are often people on many of the roads many of us travel. When we see these people, we make a decision. We either help, we do not, or we pretend we don't see them. Axel, a fourth grader from Troy, not only saw, he could not ignore.
We were coming home from the movies and we saw a homeless man, and then I wanted to give something to him, and then my dad said, well, we can't help everyone.
And so, as many children do, he asked a question. Why not?
It's humans that we need to show love to other humans, that we can show kindness.
From that question, a movement at a school where the principal doesn't use the word student. She uses the word friend for everyone she encounters.
Can I talk to you for a little bit, my friends?
And that idea that everyone is a friend, that everyone deserves respect, honor, and help.
There's veterans that are homeless, and it's really supporting to all the veterans and people, just normal people that are homeless.
That there are no strangers because everyone is a friend. Stuck.
I thought this is a really perfect opportunity for our building to get involved and for a student to become a leader.
And so the Axemen Why Not project was born.
Start taking items and making piles, like deodorant would be in one pile.
41 toothbrushes. Okay, we have 6 packs of gum and 8 packs of hard candy. Yeah, we need more socks.
100 care bags are being collected. Each class is responsible for a specific item: toothpaste, food, socks, a tarp because the ground is wet, hard candy because it's nourishment. Yeah, because why not? Because you're a kid and it's candy. And the parents of the students will be asked to carry these care bags in their cars.
Now they can have food and they can live just like us and be really happy. If you just drive somewhere, then you see a homeless man or a homeless woman or like a homeless family, you just take a bag out of your car, give it to them. Simple.
Wow. I am deeply moved by that child. I am deeply moved by these children. And I know people are going to ask if they can help these children, and the answer is yes. It's Hill Elementary School in Troy in the 18-mile DeQuinder area. Don't try to enter the school with socks and cold weather clothing and food items. They will have a box in the vestibule or outside. And if you don't want to help, just ask yourself, why not? Karen?
Wow. Humans being nice to other humans.
Right?
What a concept, right? Great reminder. What a leader for that young boy. Thanks very much for sharing that story, Paula. Still to come first at 4, new research showing dogs really are man's best friend. So how are they reducing the risk of premature death for some people? We'll talk about that. Plus, if you're still planning that holiday vacation and are interested in environmentally friendly options, we have just the place for you, where you can relax, enjoy drinks, and swim.
Are you sending offensive emails without even knowing it? The words and phrases that you may want to try and avoid the next email you send tomorrow at 6 a.m.